You can also find links to this, Hey guys, welcome to episode 53 of the Knit Now Swatch Later podcast. My name is Courtney, and today is Thursday, March 3rd, 2022. This is a knitting podcast, and I am coming to you from Pennsylvania, where I live with my husband and our 2 dogs and 2 cats. This is take 3 of this episode, so, yeah. You can find me on Ravelry as Pup and on Instagram as Knit Now Swatch Later. You can also find a link to the Ravelry group for this podcast, as well as a link to my Etsy shop in the description down below. So, it has been a couple of weeks since I recorded a podcast, and I still don't really have much to show. I just have been super busy and not knitting a whole lot, but I do have one finished object to show you guys, so I'm going to just jump right in with that. This is my Musclebird Hat by Isolde Teague. This is the second Musclebird hat that I have knit. The first one was for my husband. That one was just a little bit too big, and this one is just a little bit too small. And I only went down one size, so I'm not really sure what happened there. But this one is too small for me, which is super frustrating, but I'll get over it eventually. The yarn is Loops and Threads. I think it's like classic wool or something. I don't remember the name of the yarn. In the colorway Burgundy. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. It was a fun knit, a tedious knit, and then to get it all finished, and it's too small kind of stinks. But moving into works in progress, I have my Summer Sock Camp Picnic socks by Kay Litton, who is the crazy sock lady. I have them in my Alice in Wonderland bag, and the yarn is a mess. It wasn't like that the first 2 times I recorded this episode, but now it is. So the Gummy Bear stitch marker is where I was the last time I showed it on the podcast. So a little bit of progress, not too much. I think I did 2 full repeats of the pattern since the last episode. I think I have 1 more to go, and then I will be working on the heel and all of that fun stuff, and then usually my socks pretty much fly after that point, so hopefully we will get there pretty soon. The next work in progress that I have is my Weekender Light by Andrea Mowry, which is in my floral project bag from my business. So the stitch marker is where I was last time I showed it on the podcast. So I did make a good bit of progress on this one. I am really enjoying it. It's just starting to get a little bit tedious because I feel like I have been working on it forever with no visible progress. But I believe I am maybe 12 inches along, and I think I need 15 before I split for the sleeves and get to do something else. So hopefully not too much longer on that, but I am really excited to wear it. I think it's gonna look really nice and be really comfortable. And like I said, I am really enjoying it. It's just getting to a point where I feel like I need to do something else. I did make a little bit of progress on one of my cross stitch projects that I showed over on Instagram. So if you follow me there, you saw it. It's definitely not enough progress to dig out from where I keep it. I only did maybe 3 or 4 rows of stitching, so not really worth dragging out to show on the podcast, but you may see it again on my Instagram sometime soon in my stories. And that's pretty much all of the crafty content that I have for this episode. Like I said, we have just been so busy, and running around that I have not had a lot of time to knit, and when I am home I kind of just want to do nothing. So that's all for that. So moving into books, I finished Scythe by Neal Shusterman, which I wasn't sure if I had finished it when I recorded the last podcast, so I wanted to mention it again on this one. And then I read Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman, which is the second book in the Arc of a Scythe series. Both of them I gave 5 stars on Goodreads. I loved them both. They are dystopians, which I love. They're super easy reads, and I just really enjoyed them. The Thunderhead was maybe, I think it was like 507 pages, and I read it in 4 days. So that gives you any idea of how good it is. Next, I have 3 books that I am currently reading. The first one is An Unwanted Guest by Shari Lapena, or Lapena. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce her last name. The Invisible Life of Addie, LaRue by V.E. Schwab, and Fallen Angels by Ken Johnson. So I don't normally read 3 books at a time, but I am reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue during the day. It sits on my coffee table, so whenever I'm sitting on the couch and feel like reading, I pick that one up. An Unwanted Guest is my nighttime book that is on my Kindle in my bedroom. And then Fallen Angels I usually read after I do my Bible study. It's kind of a theological book, so it's really interesting to read that right after reading my Bible. But yeah, I used to read like 3 or 4 books at a time all the time when I was younger, and now I don't really have the brain space to do that, so I'm kind of surprised that I'm doing it right now. But I really need to finish a couple of them before I start reading something else, because it is a little bit too much. But speaking of other books, I got a bunch of books in the mail recently. One of them is The Testing by Jennifer something. I will make sure that I put her last name in the show notes. It starts with a C. That's all I got for you. Then I also got the Vault of a Dreamer series by Kara M. O'Brien. She wrote the Birthmark trilogy that I really enjoyed, so I got the first 2 books of that series. And then I also got No Exit by Taylor Adams. I think it's Taylor Adams. And I'm really looking forward to reading that one. I've heard so many good things about it. And there's also a movie on Hulu based on the book, so I'm really excited to get into that one. But like I said, I really need to finish some of the books that I'm currently reading before I jump into that one. So moving into shop update, I don't have a shop update for you yet. I am working on it. Actually, I haven't been working on it. That is why I don't have one, but I am really hoping to have a shop update for you guys sometime next week. If you are looking for an exact date, make sure that you are signed up to my newsletter, which is also linked in the show notes in the description box down below. I plan on sending out an email with all of the details of everything that's going to be in the shop, including pictures, prices, all of that good stuff. So if you want to be in the loop on all of that stuff, make sure that you sign up for my newsletter. And as always, you can use the code KnitNowSwatchLater for 15% off of your total purchase. And I think that's pretty much everything. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put out a new episode every 2 weeks. So until next time, happy knitting. Bye.